The Biden administration's proposed student loan relief program is temporarily paused, and that means millions of people's academic debt are in limbo. But applications for relief are still open at studentaid.gov. Holden Absher has this report.
President Joe Biden's proposed student loan relief program would forgive $400 billion for almost 45 million people, and that includes more than 900,000 Hoosiers. For people making less than $125,000 a year, up to $10,000 or $20,000 in federal student loans could be forgiven.
Now, less than a week, just close to 22 million people have already given us information to consider this life-changing relief.
Life-changing for people like Cynthia Schultz, who took an alternate route to college.
I didn't come from a family of college graduates. I am the first person in my family to graduate from college. I'm definitely the first person to get a master's degree.
Schultz returned to college when her children were in high school, and she eventually graduated with $50,000 worth of debt she's still paying.
I've been retired 6 years. I'm 71, and most people my age don't have student debt. I had some health challenges in mid-career that meant we didn't have as much savings as we had planned for.
However, some people say the program just fundamentally isn't fair.
People take matters of financial fairness personally. So it's not, oh, this is unfair to someone. It's unfair to me.
People opposed to the loan forgiveness program argue that the debt's just being redistributed to people who didn't go to college or didn't choose to take out student loans.
Not everything is fair. And there's lots of government actions that, as someone who's a pacifist, might not agree with the military budget. It's not fair to them.
Currently, 6 states are suing because people consolidated federal family education loans to qualify for forgiveness. States hold and service FFELP loans, which means smaller loan volume and thus less revenue. However, the White House had not finalized the details of the program yet. And as of September 29th, the same day the lawsuit was filed, people who didn't already consolidate FFELP loans no longer qualified.
This essentially rendered the claims that the states had been harmed moot.
A federal judge dismissed the case, but the states appealed to the Eighth Circuit Court, and the judge last Friday temporarily blocked the plan as it waits to issue a ruling on an injunction.
The stay merely prevents the Department of Education from issuing the forgiveness. If they are ready to go, they could resume as soon as that stay is lifted.
But does the president have the authority to forgive hundreds of billions of dollars in student debt? The Biden administration is using the HEROES Act of 2003 to authorize the program, but Kantrowitz says that the court could potentially invoke the Major Questions Doctrine, which says for agency action that have major consequences, like costing $400 billion, there should be explicit authorization by Congress. Now, Congress has attempted to pass student loan forgiveness legislation multiple times, but failed.
That then doesn't give the administration carte blanche to implement what they couldn't get through Congress through executive action.
However, Kantrowitz says the legality of what the president did is actually a separate issue. For a court to rule on that program, someone must first show harm.
Until plaintiffs are able to demonstrate that they have legal standing, and so far none have, and I don't think any will, the courts can't consider whether what the president did passes legal muster.
Regardless of the outcome of the appeals court, one side is likely to push the issue all the way to the United States Supreme Court. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Holden Absher.
Kantrowitz says he expects the court to act quickly, but the decision could take several weeks.